of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And just like that, week five of the National Football League, about 15 minutes away. Our friends out in San Francisco. Boy, did we put a beating on them, not only on the scoreboard. No Brock Purdy tonight, no Ricky Pearsall tonight, no Jawan Jennings tonight. San Francisco and the LA Rams, a good one. In the NFC West, 3-1 versus 3-1 kicks off week 5 of the National Football League in less than 15 minutes. Of course, week 5 of the National Football League concludes on Monday night here in Jacksonville with the Chiefs and the Jaguars. And with that, a very good Thursday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. Again, terrific football game tonight. Drama in Major League Baseball. It's win or go home between the Red Sox and the Yankees. They're about to get things underway in the Bronx. Win or go home right now for the Padres and the Cubs. Cubs are in control, but it's getting a little dicier. 3-1 Chicago. Padres have the tying run at the plate. We will keep you updated. Again, one of these teams' season's about to end, and likewise, Red Sox-Yankees tonight. Winner advances, the loser goes home. So we got a lot to get into. Again, we're absolutely loaded until 10 o'clock. Guest lineup tonight looks like this. We will go to Tallahassee, Florida. Jeff Colhane, the play-by-play voice of the Florida State Seminoles on the Seminole Radio Network, as we will preview Florida State and Miami. We will also head out to Kansas City. My guy when it comes to the Chiefs is Soren Petro of Sports Radio 810. We'll have Soren on to talk about this ball game on the Chiefs side of things between the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Matt Verderam of SI will stop by to talk Jaguars, AFC South, and more. And I was down in the Jaguar locker room earlier today, had one-on-one conversations with both running back Bashal Tutin and tight end Hunter Long, and you will hear both of those conversations coming up in the next 10 or 15 minutes right here on Hacker After Dark. So we're absolutely jam-packed, and we are certainly glad you are spending part of your Thursday evening with us. Every night on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night, and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No, because it is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
All right, a little bit of housekeeping for the big deal of the night. My final show until kickoff. Of course, tomorrow night, Hacker After Dark turns into the Friday Night Lights postgame. Certainly looking forward to that. And then, of course, Monday night, pregame coverage of Jaguar football begins at 3 o'clock here on 1010XL. So this is my last opportunity, at least on Hacker After Dark, to give you my thoughts on the football action coming up this weekend. Jaguars Chiefs thoughts in a moment. First, to college, the two big ones in the state. When it comes to Florida State and Miami, I actually have gone back and forth on this game all week. I would feel much better about picking Miami had Florida State not lost to Virginia last week. Had Florida State not lost to Virginia last week and entered this game at 4-0, I would have had no trepidation in picking the Miami Hurricanes. I'm still going to pick Miami, but I had to think about it because I think this Florida State team is good. And I think the offense was very good last week. The defense obviously left a lot to be desired. But I do agree with the sentiment in Tallahassee. There's no such thing as a good loss, but I do think a loss has kind of got rid of all the press clippings for Florida State. They're going to get back to work this week. And because of that, I think it's going to be a tougher putt for Miami than it would have been if Florida State would have entered undefeated. Having said all that, I think it's close. I think it's nail-biting time in the fourth quarter for both fan bases, but give me Miami by a field goal in Tallahassee to remain undefeated on the year. As far as Florida and Texas, how in good conscience can you pick Florida to win? I mean, you can be the most diehard, orange and blue, goggle-wearing, orange and blue, Kool-Aid drinking, Gator homer on planet Earth. Can you pick Florida to win this game? I just don't know if you can based on what we've seen the last 3 weeks. The offense was bad against South Florida. They were awful against LSU, pitiful against Miami. You got a Texas team coming in that has a really solid defense, held Ohio State to 14 in a losing effort in week 1. Yeah, the Texas offense hasn't been great, but you don't need to be great to beat Florida because Florida can't score. Florida's only scored 33 points in the last 3 games combined. Look, do I want Florida to win? Sure. Do I expect Florida to win? Absolutely not. I'm intrigued about Dallas Wilson making his debut. The Gators get some of their defensive linemen back, including George Gums, which will help. But again, based on the play calling, the abysmal performance, the atrocious quarterback play, I just don't know how in good conscience you can pick Florida to win the game. Maybe they do. Maybe they shock everybody. But I have to see it before I'll believe it. Give me Texas by 10 on Saturday. I'll take the Longhorns 26, the Florida Gators 16. And that does bring me to the Jaguars and the Chiefs. It's weird to be talking prediction time when we are still, 4.5 days, 5 days away from the game. I guess 4 days away from the game. It is a little hard to be predicting it, but that's just the time we're in on Monday Night Football. So we'll do it. Was down in the locker room earlier today. Man, they're saying all the right stuff again. This team knows what to say to the media. This team knows things that we look for and things that the fan base wants to hear. And I believe them. I believe there is a confidence about this football team, not a swagger, not a bad, humility. I believe there is just a confidence to this football team. I also believe they are well aware of the challenge that's in front of them. This is Patrick Mahomes. This is Andy Reid. This is Travis Kelce. This is Chris Jones. This is a football team in the Kansas City Chiefs that overall has beat you 7 consecutive times and that you have not beaten since November 8th of 2009. It's a great opportunity for Jacksonville. Has Kansas City found themselves after starting 0-2, back-to-back wins over the Giants? And, of course, last week they absolutely destroyed the Baltimore Ravens. And when I saw the Chiefs destroy the Ravens on Sunday, I thought, oh, no. Oh, no. But in talking to people that cover the Chiefs, one thing has become apparent. Yeah, they beat Baltimore, but that's not Baltimore. That's a bad Ravens team that's suffering with a lot of injuries right now. Kansas City folks still believe there are issues on this Chief offense. The bottom line is this. The Chiefs have only turned the ball over one time. One time in 4 games. And, of course, the Jaguars have forced 13 turnovers in 4 games. To me, it's simple. If you win the turnover battle on Monday night, you will win the football game. 9 times out of 10 in years past, probably 10 times out of 10 in years past, going into a game like this, I would have gladly taken Kansas City, no bones about it. And I'm not a guy that just picks Jacksonville for the sake of picking Jacksonville. I picked Jacksonville to lose to Cincinnati earlier in the year. I picked Jacksonville to lose to San Francisco last week. I was not right about that. I mean, there are some people, when you watch podcasts, not just here in Jacksonville, but nationally, that cover NFL teams, that when they do their prediction, it doesn't matter. They're going to predict the team they cover every week. That's just what they do. I hope you guys know that's not me. I've already picked against Jacksonville twice this year. I was right on one. I was wrong on one. I say all that to say this. I think Jacksonville's going to win the game on Monday night. I do, man. I think this home crowd, this opportunity, not having beaten the Chiefs in 16 years, having your heart ripped out in years past, I don't think this is as good a Kansas City team as certainly they've had in the last few years. I think Jacksonville will find a way. Will it be pretty? Will it be a work of art? I doubt it. But I think after 60 minutes on that scoreboard, with some weather potentially in play, which would help the Jaguar running game, maybe limit the Kansas City passing game, I think you add all that up, I'll take Jacksonville in a low-scoring defensive battle. Give me Jacksonville 19, Kansas City 16, and what a scene that would be at Everbank Stadium if the Jaguars can pull that off on Monday night. I believe that they will. I'll tell you other guys that believe they can pull it off. Of course they do. They're the players, right? I was in the locker room earlier today. I had the opportunity to catch up with tailback Bashal Tutin and tight end Hunter Long. I'll tell you this about Hunter Long. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite Jaguars to interview. Thoughtful answers, really interesting responses. If you haven't heard from Hunter Long yet, a guy that has 2 touchdown catches already this year, also had the game-sealing catch last week in San Francisco, I think you'll enjoy the conversation. Hunter Long, Bashal Tutin, my one-on-ones from the Jaguar locker room earlier today are coming up next on a Thursday night in Jacksonville, Florida. We're glad you're with us till 10 o'clock right here. It's Hacker After Dark.
He's Jacksonville's official tape checker.
I'm Jeff Lodman.
And he tells you about it Tuesdays during football season on Jaguars Today. Inspected by. Go to the pros Napa know-how. Jack's NapaAutoCareGroup.com on 1010XL.
This is Niall Lawrence Stample, national champion and owner of NLS Cleaning. We're your exterior cleaning experts for pressure washing, gutters, windows, and paper sealing. This event season, get your home or business ready to go before guests arrive. NLS Cleaning, 708-8802.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group, 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 2nd, 1980, Muhammad Ali comes out of a 2-year retirement in a fight. Undefeated Larry Holmes. Fight went 10 rounds before Ali's corner threw in the towel.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
1010XL and 92.5 FM congratulates our hometown Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. They won the National AAA Championship with a 9th-inning walk-off home run to win 8-7 over Las Vegas.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Chip Davis, director of the Flounder Pounder Fishing Tournament. We are fast approaching our 16th annual tournament benefiting the Jacksonville School for Autism. With the help of our amazing community, we raised over $1.4 million the last 15 years. This year's tournament will be held at Palm Valley Outdoors on the Intercoastal Waterway. Captain's meeting is Thursday night, October 9th, and the tournament is Saturday, October 11th. I'm inviting you and your family to come out and enjoy our tournament festivities, raise some money, and support autism awareness. Special thanks to U.S. Army Recruitment Jacks for their support. Flounder Pounder for Autism 2025. See you there.
Jacksonville, archery season is here, and nobody does archery like Green Acres Sporting Goods, home of the largest archery pro shop in Northeast Florida. Come test shoot the newest bows from Matthews, Hoyt, Raven, and all the top brands. And starting this month, take advantage of Florida's sales tax holiday on all Second Amendment related items, running now through the end of the year. You can find it all at greenacresporting.com.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Jacksonville is my hometown, and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
Helmets and Heels is returning to Vegas. If you're heading out for the big game, join us at Circa Resort and Casino this October for a Halloween weekend football getaway, featuring Circa room discounts and a huddle up for everyone in the teal and black. Meet Helmets and Heels Friday night, October 31st, then hit the Circa Stadium Swim with temperature-controlled pools and a massive betting screen. For Circa room discounts and more information, visit the 1010XL webpage or circalasvegas.com/huddleup-up.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is, and we are certainly glad you are spending part of your Thursday evening with us. Earlier today, the Miller Electric Center. I was down inside the Jaguar locker room, had the opportunity to go one-on-one with running back Bashel Tootin. You'll hear that conversation in a moment. I also had the opportunity to go one-on-one with tight end Hunter Long. Truthfully, I didn't know very much about Hunter Long when the Jaguars signed him in free agency. I'm finding out very quick, though. He's been a valuable addition, man. A couple of touchdown catches in 4 games, a terrific blocking tight end. He's caught a couple of really nice passes inside the red zone. And he had the game-sealing catch on that 3rd down against San Francisco last Sunday, leading into the 2-minute warning. Earlier today, Jaguar locker room, I went one-on-one with Jaguar tight end Hunter Long. Jaguars getting ready for the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday night. We've got Jaguar tight end Hunter Long with us here on 1010XL. Hunter, how'd practice go out there today?
Great, focus on ourselves, focus on getting better every week. And, the cool thing about all this is, playing winning football but also seeing on the tape how much we can improve from here, which is what we're attacking every day.
A touchdown for you. Obviously, you had the game-sealing catch on Sunday. Do you feel like you're playing some of the best football of your career? Certainly Jaguar fans are noticing what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Just being familiar with the system, getting this unit really coming together. Just everyone allows me to go out there and play free, and play as free as I've probably felt in my 5 years. And, try not to get too big picture on it and keep attacking my days like I've been attacking them, and the rest kind of falls into place.
I talked with you in the preseason about you coming with Gladstone from LA to Jacksonville. I think people are noticing that as well. It's obvious why he brought you here. You look at the tight end room, the offensive line room, not only in the passing game, but the run blocking you guys are doing for this running attack. When you watch the film, does it look as good to you guys as it appears to us, the running game and how it's working right now?
Yeah, of course, there's stuff that you can always work on, but this whole room takes pride in that. we take just as much pride in Trav and all the running backs breaking off, 50-yard touchdowns as they do. And, being a well-rounded tight end is something to hang our hat on, and we're going to keep attacking it.
Obviously this is your first year here, but there was not really a confidence about this team in the past with the fan base. Now the fans are looking at you guys. They see 3-1. They see a kind of a swagger a little bit you guys have. There's a confidence there. Do you get the excitement in the city? Do you feel what the fans are feeling outside? Because they are really excited right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that all comes to winning football, The fans have been great. Getting wins in this league is hard. And being able to set the culture we want and build the culture that we want here moving forward has been really special. And I think everyone's seen it come together, specifically, in this locker room. And of course, the fans see it on Sundays. But Sundays is just a product of what we have been building, every day in here and out on that grass. And I think it's the best for this team to see like what we're doing is working and how much effort and energy we're putting into this is paying off. And that motivates people to do more and pour more into it, and that only will work out better for us down the road.
As we begin to wrap up Monday Night Football, Kansas City coming in, what's your thought on the Chiefs coming in here on Monday night?
Yeah, an exciting game. I'm sure the fans will be packed out in the stadium. Got a lot of people coming to town, but we're worried about ourselves. We're focused on ourselves. We have so much to get better at as a team, and that's really what we're focused on every day. And come in here and get better. And the product that goes out there Sunday and the way we perform Sunday is it's built here on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we're not really focused on the game right now and focused on getting better so we can go out there and play well.
Final question. You mentioned the fans. There is a ton of excitement about Monday night. It's going to be a sellout crowd. Yeah. What's your message to the Jaguar fan base that's coming out here on Monday?
Bring some noise. We need the place jumping. When the defense is out there, I don't want them to be able to hear themselves think. So I know they'll come through for us, but it'll be exciting and it's fun. It's fun to have them behind us.
Congrats on the touchdown last week. Best of luck on Monday.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
There you go, Hunter Long, Jaguar tight end. Again, very short amount of time I've gotten to know him. I'm a Hunter Long fan. You like everybody in that locker room. There's not one player that I dislike. Honestly, there isn't. There's just some guys that you might go to more than others. And Hunter Long, gives thoughtful answers. I think has kind of a pulse of what's going on with that team. A hardworking guy that is finally getting his opportunity. Keep in mind, I think coming into this year, he had like 7 catches for his career out in L.A. He just wasn't given that opportunity. That wasn't what they were asking him to do. And you see why James Gladstone brought him with him from Los Angeles, right? Good, solid player. Brenton Strange has been really good, but I think Hunter Long, those 2 touchdowns have been critical. He's had a couple of big plays in the red zone. He had the game-sealing catch against San Francisco. Again, thumbs up for me on the Hunter Long signing. He's been very, very good, as has some of the draft class. That includes 4th-round tailback Bashal Tuten. The guy does something every week. He's already scored a couple of touchdowns. Last week, he had a big kickoff return that enabled the Jaguars to get a field goal prior to halftime. Tuten from Virginia Tech has been a solid player a month into his NFL career. Earlier today, down at the Miller Electric Center inside the Jaguar locker room, I also went one-on-one with Jaguar rookie tailback Bashal Tuten.
In the Jaguar locker room, Jaguars getting ready for Monday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs. We got Jaguar running back Bashal Tuten with us here on 1010XL. Bashal, practice go out there today?
Went pretty smooth. I think overall, the practice was pretty good. Locked in mentally. Coach took the running off our legs pretty much. So we're locked in, mentally focused, and just paying attention to the details.
This running game, you, ETN, with Quinn Allen, it's opening some eyes around the league. What the offensive line is doing as well. Can you feel the chemistry with this running game building every single week?
Yeah, I definitely do. It shows in the game, but I think it starts in practice. We felt in practice, the backs do a good job of, hitting the holes they're supposed to, the O-line, the wide receivers, tight end doing a great job blocking it up, and coach is doing a good job scheming it up. So I think all around we're definitely starting to get our swagger with it.
Not only have you made an impact in the running game, you made a big impact last week in the return game. How much pride do you take in that, being a big factor on special teams as well?
I take pride in a lot. When I was coming in, prepping for combine and stuff like that, coming in the combine, that was one of the things I harped on. You know, playing special teams, being a big return guy. I did it in college, high school, so I'm used to it. But just to come out here on the national level and do it, you know, to a high level is also pleasing for me.
One of the things the fans always say about you is, man, that guy doesn't go down on first contact. It takes 2, 3, 4 guys to bring him down. Where does that desire to continue to move the ball come from? Because it is hard to bring you down at first contact.
I started young, you know, just having a mindset to, you know, not go down by the first person. You know, my dad always told me, don't let one guy bring you down, and don't want to go down. So I kind of just stick to that, and I live by that, just winning my one-on-one battles when they come, and just trying to run through a defender and trying to make a play.
There's an excitement in this city. I know it's your first year in Jacksonville, but 3-1, the stadium is going to be rocking on Monday night. Can you guys sense the excitement in this city about what you guys are doing right now?
Yeah, we definitely can, but we just got to stay on our screws, you know. It's a great feeling, but, you know, we got to just come in and focus day in and day out and, you know, don't let the outside noise and all the hype, you know, get us off our game.
As we begin to wrap up, it is Monday Night Football. It is Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, Chris Jones, the guy you'll be going up against. What's your thought process going into Monday night and what's going to be a big game?
Just stay on my screws, you know. The offense, you know, just do what we do best. Defense, do what they do best. And, you know, we'll play pretty good. So if we just stick to the thing that we do, you know, best, we'll be fine.
Final question. As we said, the stadium's going to be rocking. I think there's only standing room only tickets. It's going to be a sellout. What's your message to the fan base coming out on Monday night?
Just come out, support, you know, make it loud for the guys and, you know, show out for us.
You've been great to watch so far. Best of luck on Monday.
Thank you.
There you go. Bashal Tutin, rookie running back from Virginia Tech, with us here on Hacker After Dark, and a couple of touchdowns for Tutin already, and that big kickoff return last week to set up the field goal before half. And Tutin's a guy, and I was curious his answer. He said it started at a young age. His dad said, don't let the first guy bring you down, and the first guy very rarely brings Bashal Tutin down. It usually takes 2 or 3 guys to bring him down. I mean, how many times have we seen Tutin, you know, dead to rights in the backfield, and he'll somehow gain 2 or 3 yards? It's really impressive to watch for a rookie running back to be able to do that. As always, thank you to the Jaguars today in the locker room. Again, tight end Hunter Long and running back Bashal Tutin for going one-on-one with me here on Hacker After Dark. More on the Jaguars and Kansas City. My buddy Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated covers the league on a national basis, but he also started his career in Kansas City. He obviously has a unique perspective on the Chiefs. We'll talk Jags. We'll talk Chiefs. Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated joins me next right here on Hacker After Dark.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
All you gotta do is put a drink.
Eric Church is back and bringing his unforgettable live show to Jacksonville. Eric Church, Free the Machine Tour. With special guest Ashley McBride. That's why I leave a light on me. 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena, Friday, April 10th. Get tickets Friday, October 3rd at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. His new album, Evangeline vs. the Machine, is out now. One epic night of music that you won't want to miss. Eric Church, Free the Machine Tour. Live at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena, Friday, April 10th. Get tickets Friday, October 3rd. For more, visit ericchurch.com. Produced by Messina Touring Group.
Jags fans, this one's for you. If you've got MyGate rewards, you're already in the game. But now you've got a shot at the ultimate prize, meeting QB1 himself, Trevor Lawrence, at Everbank Stadium with 3 friends by your side. With the MyGate Rewards Gatorade Club, every 5 Gatorade items you purchase equals 1 entry toward your chance to win. Stack them up and score big. See store for details. Gear up for the season. Gates got you.
It's time to get up and go to the Jacksonville Fall RV Show, Thursday through Sunday, October 2nd through 5th at the Jacksonville Equestrian Center, with hundreds of RVs on display with lifestyle booths, and register to win $250 gift cards every day. It's Northeast Florida's largest RV show, Thursday through Saturday, 10 to 5, Sunday, 10 to 4. Adults, $10. Kids under 12, free. Seniors get half off on Thursday. Military and first responders, half off every day. It's the Jacksonville Fall RV Show.
Julington Creek Pest Control has been serving our community since 1984. Our turf management program is an all-out blitz, granular fertilization, weed and insect control, keeping your lawn championship green all year. Quarterly pest control stops bugs before they ever cross your goal line. Family-owned, locally operated, expert technicians, top quality products, no gimmicks, just winning results. Julington Creek Pest Control, our family serving yours since 1984.
It's time for the Plumbing 411 from Superior Plumbing and Pipeline. It's not just annoying when your toilet keeps running long after you flush, it's also costly because it can waste hundreds of gallons of water a day. A running toilet's often caused by worn-out flappers, corroded valves, or a faulty float. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining will fix the problem fast, which can help lower your water bill. Stop the running and start saving today. Make the superior choice when your toilet won't stop running, and learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Chiefs, Monday night, 8:15. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL, and what all of a sudden is a pretty big game in the American Football Conference. The 2-2 Chiefs and the 3-1 Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's talk about the Jags' 3-1 start. Let's also preview Kansas City with Matt Verderam of SI. He's one of our favorites to talk NFL with, and Matt's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Matt, how we doing, man?
Doing well. How are you?
Matt, we're good. Thank you for the time. You and I spoke after the Cincinnati loss, and at that point, there were a lot of questions about this Jaguar football team. And then all of a sudden, wins over Houston and San Francisco, now sitting at 3-1 and getting ready to go in front of a national TV audience on Monday night. Boy, what a statement Jacksonville could make if they beat the Chiefs next Monday.
Yeah, look, if they beat Kansas City, I think everybody's got to take Jacksonville very seriously. I think right now you'll look at what Jacksonville's done, and it's been a lot of, the defense creating big plays, creating takeaways. Obviously, they lead the league with 13. Offensively, ton of Travis Etienne. He's been great. He's really been the bell cow of that offense. Everybody knows that down in Duval. But I think, look, realistically, yeah, this is an opportunity, as you mentioned, on national TV to show everyone in the country that this is something that is sustainable, that this is a team that can fight for the AFC South, and certainly I think they can. That division is wide open. But yeah, look, the Chiefs, despite being 2-2, remain the Chiefs. And they're coming off a game where they just annihilated Baltimore. So if Jacksonville can beat them, that would make a heck of a statement for a team that is trying to gain some more national respect.
Matt, one of the narratives down here, and I know it's one of the narratives nationally as well, is the Jaguars are 3-1, maybe in spite of Trevor Lawrence. What's your thought there?
I think there's a little more nuance in that, but look, the passing game has not been very good. Now, Brian Thomas Jr. has struggled, I think a little bit banged up. Travis Hunter is a rookie, and I know there was this expectation he was going to come in and be the NFL's version of Shohei Ohtani. And maybe he will be at some point. But right now, he's a rookie. And you've seen flashes. He had an unbelievable catch over the middle against the Niners. But he's a rookie. Like, this is a passing attack that right now, if Brian Thomas Jr. is not going to be a superstar, at least in a given moment, it's going to struggle. They don't have another guy who you just turn to and go, oh, that guy's an easy 80 to 100 yards a game. That's just that's not the reality if Thomas isn't playing at that level. And so, all of a sudden it becomes a lot harder. The offensive line is playing better maybe than a year ago, but not an elite line. Look, Lawrence has to play better. They gave him a fortune. and he cannot be completing less than 60% of his passes with 5 touchdowns and 4 picks. Okay, he does wear that. Like, he's got to play better than that. At the same point, I think, like I said, I think there is a nuance to it. It's not as simple as just, oh, he's been bad. There have been some factors around him that are also kind of holding him down, so to speak.
Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. The Jaguars and the Chiefs Monday night. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL radio. Matt, it's amazing what contract years can do for a couple of Jaguars. Let's begin on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know how Liam Cohen has done it so quickly, man. This was a team last year that got pushed around here in Jacksonville, and now all of a sudden they're pushing other teams around, and Travis Etienne is in the top 3 in rushing in the National Football League. He's going to be a wealthy man at the end of this season.
Yeah, he's going to be. Look, you know, he started out his career looking like a guy who was going to be a top back in the NFL, and then it's kind of fell off. But he's back. 6.1 yards per carry. He's leading the league. He's been spectacular. You're right. I mean, Jacksonville, there's a physicality that wasn't there a year ago. I remember talking to some people in the building off the record about, bringing in just some new offensive linemen. Hainsey being one of the guys who was in Tampa, who understands the offense, who's able to kind of get that thing jump started. And he's never going to be an All-Pro, but he's a good player. I think there's a thought that like he could help impart knowledge, like more than anything else. That would be the biggest thing that he could do. And that offensive line, listen, is it perfect? No, but it's been very good in the run game. And it's allowing Jacksonville to stay ahead of the sticks, to win without Lawrence having huge numbers. And, of course, the defense is a big part of that as well. But, look, in the end, if Etienne can continue to run, not for 6 yards a carry, that would be historic. But if he can even end the season running for high 4s, that's a big win. They're going to stay in a lot of games if you can play defense and run the ball like that.
And defensively, look, we know about the 13 takeaways in the first 4 games. That's crazy. And the law of averages tells you that's certainly not going to last. But one of the best players on that defense is Devin Lloyd, a guy that did not get his 5th-year option picked up by the team. He is scheduled to become a free agent at the end of this year. And, Matt, there's no question Devin Lloyd, who's now the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, is playing the best football of his career.
He is. It seems like this scheme suits him well. He's got 3 interceptions. He's leading the league. He's played very well. And he was a guy who, again, another guy, kind of like Etienne, where at times you watched him and said, man, there's something there. But then he never really was able to put it together. I don't blame Jacksonville for not having picked up the option. But he has played very, very well the first month of the season. Listen, they're gonna need him to. This is a defense that has talent, but at the same point, it's a defense that I think, look, these takeaways, these big splash plays, they need them. They need them to be a top-tier defense. I think they can be a solid defense without a bunch of big-time takeaways, but I think to be that upper crust type of defense, they're going to have to make the splash play, and that's something Lloyd's done so far this season.
Matt, I want to get your thoughts on Kansas City as we begin to wrap up. But finally on Liam Cohen. I mean, 4 games into his coaching career, and my goodness, the interaction he had with Trevor in Cincinnati, the Robert Saleh stuff last week, there is a confidence with Liam Cohen. There is a swagger with Liam Cohen, and it's unlike anything we've seen here in Jacksonville in a long, long time. When you consider Doug Peterson and Urban Meyer and Doug Marrone and Gus Bradley and Mike Mularkey, I mean, it's kind of a culture shock, I think, for this fan base to see a guy that's not afraid to express himself and a guy that's not afraid to mix it up a little bit in Liam Cohen.
Yeah, look, Cohen's a fiery guy. Known Liam a little bit, and I've always enjoyed kind of being around him. I mean, he's a guy who, he'll tell you what he's thinking. He's not afraid to lay it all out there. And one thing about him that I think players appreciate, he's authentic. He's who he is. There are a lot of guys, sound simple, that are not. They try to be somebody else. It feels like every guy who comes off the Belichick tree tries to be Belichick. They're not Bill Belichick. I think Cohen, there's a respect in the building for a guy who's just says, look, you may not love me, but and maybe you will, but regardless, you're going to respect me and you're going to get an authentic person. You're going to get me. You're not going to get some character of an NFL head coach. And I think guys, whether they love the guy, like the guy, feeling different about the guy personally, there's a respect level to the idea of, hey, look, at least this guy is who he is. He's not blowing any smoke. He's coming in here being the guy that he said he was going to be. And I think if you're a player, that you can play for that guy. Whereas a lot of times these guys who come in and they try to put on a persona, a big tough guy image, that wears thin real fast because guys see right through it.
Final moments, Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated. Matt, as we begin to wrap up, obviously you're very well connected nationally with the work you do on SI, but you kind of laid your groundwork there in Kansas City covering the Chiefs. It looks like they found themselves. People were freaking out at the 0-2 start. Now they're 2-2. As you said, they destroyed Baltimore. And again, a really good opportunity for Kansas City to get over 500 here on Monday night.
Well, look, a big thing for the Chiefs. The defense was bad week one. They got torched by the Chargers. A lot of breakdowns in coverage. Since then, they've been fantastic. I don't have the number right in front of me, but I think in the last 3 weeks, they've given up 465 passing yards combined. I mean, they have been about as locked down as you could be in the secondary. And that's helped them to just rush the pass. Look, one thing in this game that's going to be interesting to watch, the Chiefs are going to blitz like crazy in this game. I mean, that's what they do. They're going to get man coverage. They're going to press like crazy. And they're going to bring 5-6 guys on any obvious passing down and just say, look, beat it. Do it. They can cover. They can tackle. That's going to be a big thing. They've been good against the run, but I would suspect, although the numbers don't show that because Justice Hill ripped off a 71-yarder in garbage time, but they've been good other than that against the run. They shut down Saquon Barkley. ETN is a real good challenge. He's a really good player. That's going to be something to watch. And then, look, let's face it, the turnover battle in this game is going to be enormous. The Jags have been unbelievable at taking the ball away. I actually went back and looked because I'm writing a preview file for SI, and I'm previewing this game. The last time the Chiefs won the turnover battle in a regular season game and lost was week 6 of 2019. They are 34-0 in their last 34 games when they win the turnover battle.
Wow.
So I got to tell you, want to know who's going to win this game? Tell me who wins the takeaway. That's it, because that seems to be, if Jacksonville can win the turnover battle, great chance to win. If the Chiefs win the turnover battle, history says they will walk out of their 3-10.
And look, I mean, from a Jaguar point of view, I love that stat, and they're playing against history. I mean, the Jaguars have not beat Kansas City since November 8th of 2009, 5,807 days ago. They're 0-7 in their last 7 contests, including that just heartbreaker in the divisional playoffs there in January of 2023. The Jaguars and the Chiefs, Monday night here in Jacksonville. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated. Matt, what do you have coming out on SI as Week 5 of the NFL kicks off tonight?
Yeah, on Thursday night, or actually on Thursday afternoon, I've got my quarterly All-Pro teams coming out. I will tell you that Travis Etienne is in that, so Jaguar fans can check that out. And then I've got my preview file on Friday, just previewing the 5 best games, really going into details of, hey, do you want to know who's going to win? Here's why this team's going to win. Here are my 5 big thoughts on these games. And then Sunday, the old column, the good, the bad, and the ugly, where we break down all the Sunday action and kind of tell you why it matters and what it means.
Matt, I know you're busy. Thank you so much for the time on short notice. We certainly appreciate it and enjoy the games this weekend, pal.
You got it. No problem.
There you go. Matt Verderam of SI with us here on Hacker After Dark, and we certainly appreciate his time. Week 5 of the National Football League is underway. San Francisco, a 7-0 lead on the LA Rams. Mac Jones, a touchdown pass. They're actually driving again in Rams territory, nearing the end of the first quarter. 4 days after losing to the Jaguars, San Francisco's come out and done a nice first quarter here against the Rams. Again, they lead 7-0, and they have the ball at the Rams' 25-yard line nearing the end of the first quarter. We will keep you updated. Let's head out to Kansas City. My guy when it comes to the Chiefs is Soren Petro. He's the Afternoon Drive host of Sports Radio 810 in Kansas City. How are the Chiefs looking at this game on Monday night? What is their thought on the 3-1 Jaguars coming in here on Monday night? We'll look at Kansas City's side of this with Soren Petro of Sports Radio 810 in Kansas City. He's next, right here on Hacker After Dark.
The bank opens for business, and America watches when the Monday night lights turn teal. It's pride, power, and primetime swagger. Feel the Duval energy. Jaguars, Chiefs. It's Monday Night Football on 1010XL.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Sports fans, this is David Garrard here. And if you're suffering from orthopedic soreness, make an appointment at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where everyone is treated like a pro.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
If you want to sell your home, or you're worried about selling your home, or you've had trouble selling your home, let me give you the hotline to the help you need. That's the hotline to Chad and Sandy. 904-414-6200, chadandsandy.com. Area homes are selling, but you got to get the right price, and you need the right marketing, the proven systems. Chad and Sandy hit every base for you. Need to sell now? Instant offers coming. Fast, easy, stress-free. You want max price? Chad and Sandy bring your home to market with unmatched exposure, whether you're buying or selling. Fast or max cash, Chad and Sandy have the proven plan guaranteed. And how about this promise? Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. They are the real estate experts you can trust. So call them today at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, A-N-D, Sandy.com.
It's hurricane season. Find out what you need to know about the Canes on the Performance Painting Hurricane Report.
I'm JJ LaSelva, and I'll keep you close to Coral Gables.
Proudly protected by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve on 1010XL.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Rollovers, head-on collisions, hit and runs, you name it, we've litigated it.
And while insurance companies joke about the mayhem that occurs on roadways, we've seen the real effects. Lost lives, catastrophic injury, cars crushed like soda cans. And trust us, there's nothing funny about it.
If you've been in a crash, count on our experienced attorneys to seek full justice and all the money your case is worth.
For a fairer fight, you know who to call. Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and when the weather starts to shift a little bit, especially during the fall, you've got some really cool stuff from Honda Off-Road.
We do. It's the favorite time of the year for me. Nice little chill in the air. We've got some side-by-sides. We've got the ATVs. Of course, they're legendary dirt bikes. We've got it all.
And for the hunter?
Oh, we've got side-by-sides that work and play.
All right, so make sure you check it out. Showroom wide open for you on Atlantic near Regency. If you want to go off-road and have some fun, check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The Chiefs and the Jaguars, Monday night. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL, and what all of a sudden is a pretty big game in the American Football Conference. The 2-2 Kansas City Chiefs and the 3-1 Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's talk about Kansas City, a 2-game winning streak after absolutely destroying Baltimore last week. Has Kansas City found themselves after dropping their first 2 of the year? My guy out in KC is Soren Petro, Sports Radio 810 in Kansas City, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Soren, how we doing, man?
I'm doing well, buddy. How are you?
Soren, we're good. Thank you for the time. All right, 0-2 and panic across the National Football League that Kansas City had lost their mojo, and they seemingly have found it very quickly here in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they have. And I think, the Giant game was still ugly, and that left a lot of questions and had a lot of people nervous. And, of course, the odds makers had Baltimore as a field goal favorite in that last week, but getting Xavier Worthy back has clearly been a big boost to the offense. I think it's just a lot of other things. They've got a young left side of the offensive line. I think that's getting better each week. I think they're kind of finding their identity. That's the way Matt Nagy phrased it, the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, a couple of weeks ago. Still trying to figure out what they're good at, what they're not good at as this season progresses. And by the way, when he made that comment, that kind of perked some ears up like, oh, wait a minute, what was preseason for, right? But, I think they clearly hit their stride. I don't want to make, and I think if you're Jacksonville, you'll look at that Raven game, the Ravens, the name is Ravens. John Harbaugh's still there. Lamar Jackson's still there. Derrick Henry's still there. There's a lot to like about them when they're healthy. But I will say the margin of defeat was certainly aided by the fact that their defensive line was decimated. Their defensive backs were dropping throughout the game. They lost their left tackle. So if you want to get excited in Jacksonville, it was a 1-2 Raven team that wasn't very good defensively and had all kinds of injuries in that game and coming into that game. So I think the Chiefs still have a lot to prove to say that they're back to being a championship caliber club.
You mentioned Xavier Worthy, Soren. There was a clear difference in the Chiefs' offense after he returned.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that explosiveness is something that every coordinator is looking for. Just the threat of speed opens up so many things for other people, not just what he does when he's got the ball, when he is targeted, but what he does to scare the defense that he might be targeted. And I think you saw some of the benefits of that. So, look, he's a dynamic player. He's also a really small player. I mean, let's be clear, he was injured and missed basically 3 full games because he ran into his own player, not because anybody with malice hit him. That was the reason he was there at number 30. You don't run the fastest combine in the history of the NFL and last at 30 because you check all the other boxes. I mean, he's every bit of, 165-ish. And that's, when he gets hit hard, he goes flying. I mean, it's simple physics. And that's what happened when he ran into Travis Kelce in that opening game. And, it was a little bit of Kelce's head not being in the game at that moment for it to even happen. But he's a dynamic player, but one that, I think everybody kind of looks and says, is he getting up? Is he getting up? Okay. All right. We're good. So he adds a big element to this offense. And, that's one of the things the Jaguars are catching them while Rashee Rice is still suspended. Going into last year, they had Rashee Rice coming off a really good rookie season, a great finish to the season, a great playoffs for Rashee Rice, and then they had Hollywood Brown and they had Xavier Worthy with the 30th pick in the draft, and they designed an offense based upon having all those pieces, and they have yet to play with all 3 of those guys on the field at the same time because of injuries to Rice, suspension to Rice, injuries to Worthy, injuries to Hollywood Brown. So they still aren't going to have all those pieces, but they've got all but one back, and that does make them more dangerous.
Soren Petro, Sports Radio 810 in Kansas City. Of course, the Chiefs and the Jaguars Monday night. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. Soren, 4 games in, your thoughts on Patrick Mahomes to this point?
Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. I think he's absolutely fantastic. In fact, I have arguments with people here at times that call in and say, well, Pat this and Pat needs to do that. I'm like, you need to shut your mouth is what really needs to happen. I mean, this is not a guy who was deemed the best quarterback in football at age 25 or 6. And at age 30 now, when he sees defenses even better is making mistakes, I think what we find is as they improve the things around Pat is better. There's nothing wrong with Patrick Mahomes. He is doing everything. In fact, some people were questioning a couple of years ago, could he still throw the deep ball? Well, they've given him some speed guys, and he's thrown the deep ball and thrown it very well. He's a little amped up. Like on the first drive, he'll miss some throws because he's a little amped up, and that's something they've talked about since he got to Kansas City. I mean, he loves playing football. He gets excited for the games, and he kind of takes a linebacker mentality into the game and really needs to kind of settle down and find his rhythm. And once he does, he plays great football. But all the mistakes of Patrick Mahomes, when he throws interceptions, he's usually trailing and the clock is ticking, or it's at the end of a half and it doesn't matter. He's got 4 or 5 or 6 interceptions in his career that came from him being willing to just throw the ball down the field at a Hail Mary situation. You know, we'd watch Alex Smith tuck the ball and run, presumably because he either didn't think he could get the ball down there or because he didn't want to hurt his statistics. Patrick Mahomes is always about doing anything and everything to win football games. He carried this team that can't run the ball still well by leading him in rushing for the first 2 weeks. Still is the overall rushing leader for this team. Whatever it takes to win, he's going to do it if it's physically possible for him to do it. So I know you'll look at some of the numbers and people are saying, well, Josh Allen's caught up to him. Well, the cap caught up to the Chiefs. You know, they had to move Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelce, Father Time's catching up to him. The offensive line was eroding, and yet Patrick Mahomes was still carrying that offense into Super Bowls and scoring points when they had to have it. So, you know, if anybody is looking at it going, well, Patrick Mahomes isn't the same guy, I would say no, the personnel around him wasn't the same, but it's getting better. Xavier Worthy's getting better. Josh Simmons looks like they've solved that left tackle spot. He looks like a keeper. And Kingsley Suamataia, who failed miserably at left tackle last year, was their highest graded pass blocker last week at left guard. And so if that left side of the offensive line comes around, if Jawan Taylor does not get 4 penalties, the offense is starting to look like it's going to be tougher to beat.
Soren, you and I always talk in the offseason when we do our division previews that Father Time is undefeated when it comes to Travis Kelce, yet he's challenged that in recent years. What does Kelce look like a month into the season?
A little bit better than last year. I mean, I think it was pretty clear. You could see the man and the belly ring that went on with the skin-tight jerseys that guys wear right now that, you know, he had a pretty good offseason following around his then-girlfriend, now fiancé, and seeing the world and traveling. And he's always been a guy that in the off season, you know, he has a big interest in fashion or his podcasts or acting or whatever it is. And let me be clear, I'm not knocking him. I know everybody wants to think that football players should spend 20 hours a day, you know, either lifting weights or staring at film. You got to have a life as well. And he had it and he lived it. And he probably lived more life than he lived football going into last year. This year, he made a concentrated effort. He said it on his podcast after last season ended, that he, you know, if he was going to come back, he needed to commit to doing everything he needed to, and that included getting in the best shape of his life. And I don't know if he's in the best shape of his life, but he's definitely in better shape than he was last year. Now, that being said, he's not getting any younger. And so I think he's a little more spry than he was last year. He's a lot more frustrated. We've seen a lot of, you know, kind of behavior that we used to see a few years ago, you know, bumping and Andy Reid going over and bumping him, I think, because Andy Reid was kind of tired of his tantrum. And they did a great job of keeping that in-house. So, you know, I think there's the frustrations that you see are him recognizing that he does have physical limitations. And I would say that he's gone from being one of the 5 best receivers in football to now being, you know, the 5th to 10th best tight end in football, which is still a really valuable piece. And with Xavier Worthy opening things up, hopefully, I think Travis Kelce, who has good stats, his yards per catch are much better this year than they were last year. I think he can still be a weapon and somebody you have to worry about. I think he just really needs to not be the primary target in this offense. And I think that'll be Rashee Rice when he comes back. Second will be Xavier Worthy. Third will be Travis Kelce. And that's a pretty good third receiver, third option for a quarterback to have.
Final moment, Soren Petro, Sports Radio 810 in Kansas City. Soren, as we begin to wrap up, certainly the Kansas City defense doesn't get near the coverage they should, but year after year after year, Spagnuolo's got those guys rolling. How would you assess the defense so far?
Top shelf. I mean, they have played outstanding football after the Charger game. And in the Charger game, they were in the fight, but you know, I asked Steve Spagnuolo after that game where they really didn't put any pressure on Justin Herbert, and the Chargers just came out throwing all the time. I said, look, it looks like you guys are kind of set for the run, and they just kept throwing, and they never got to the run. He's like, yeah, you know, they're pretty good. We thought they were going to try to establish the run, and that's not how they played it. And I think that was, you know, I said after that game, I said, this is such a refreshing thing to see a coach come out and basically admit, yeah, they got me. You know, I said, you know who does that? Smart people who don't get got very often, that are happy to admit they know that, hey, this is what we did wrong. This is what we got to fix. We'll get there. And since then, they played great football. They really played great against the Eagles, held their receivers. I think it was just something like 12 targets for a total of 80 yards between their two wide receivers collectively. The Chiefs lost that game because of the offense, because Travis Kelce didn't catch a ball going into the end zone, knocked it up into the air for an interception. If he catches that ball, there's certainly a much better chance that the Chiefs win. And, the percentages would have tilted way to the Chiefs if he catches that ball. He didn't, and they lost. But it wasn't because of the defense. And they played tremendous the last couple of weeks, and they owned the Ravens and just really took them out of the game and forced turnovers. Were selective, and when they came after Lamar Jackson, kept him in the pocket, forced him to throw. Ultimately, he left the game later in the game. A lot of people in Kansas City think they just said, this isn't our day, we're going to get him out of here, and they used the injury to just take him out because it was going so poorly. So Steve Spagnuolo is absolutely fantastic at dialing up the defenses. The one thing that they are lacking is they do still kind of struggle to get pressure with just their front four, but Spagnuolo is so good at dialing up the blitzes that he supplements that. And then their defensive backfield is probably maybe the most underrated unit in football. They lost Justin Reed, but so far Brian Cook has stepped up in that role. Jaden Hicks has stepped up. They've just had great play from their corners. Trent McDuffie is fantastic. Jalen Watson is greatly underrated. Noel Williams, their rookie, if you look at the PFF grades and you take out the minimum snap count, you're going to see he's graded in the top 5. He was a third-round pick out of Cal, and he has played really good football. So they're good and deep throughout their secondary, very versatile with guys being kind of hybrid corner safeties that allows them to disguise a lot of their coverage. And so it'll be a tough – if the Jaguars have a good day offensively, Trevor Lawrence earned it. Liam Cohen earned it, because this defense is no joke, and they're going to be really difficult for the Jaguars to throw the ball against.
Seren, we got 2 minutes. Final question. When the Chiefs' schedule came out, I'm sure a lot of people in Kansas City didn't circle Week 5 at Jacksonville, but all of a sudden the Jaguars are 3-1. This has become a pretty big game in the AFC. Has Jacksonville gotten Kansas City's attention by their start?
Yeah, the 49er game did for sure. That's the one that, okay, wait a minute, these guys are real. And I think the point spread only being 3.5, I think a lot of Chiefs fans thought, okay, we fixed the problems, 2-2. The Chiefs should be back being the favorite to win the Super Bowl, and therefore 6.5, 7-point favorites wherever we go on the road, and bigger when we're at home. And it's clear that Vegas recognizes that there were some real limitations with that Baltimore Raven team, and that the 37-20, this isn't 37-20 over a Raven team that was healthy, right? So they're factoring that in, and I think they're factoring in that the Jaguars, their defensive front is legit, that they're, playing to their strengths on the offensive side of the ball, and that this should be a game that's tight going into the fourth quarter. So, yeah, I think Chiefs fans are aware. Listen, there's always going to be some arrogance when you've had the success that they've had, but I think they are aware that this is a real game, and the Chiefs better have it strapped on.
Chiefs and the Jaguars, Monday night, 8:15. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. Seren Petro, Sports Radio 810 in Kansas City. Seren, thank you as always. We'll talk soon, pal.
All right, always my pleasure, buddy.
When the outcome on the field is decided, it's time to talk about it. With hacker Leon and Coach Gerald England, it's the window world of Northeast Florida fifth quarter, flavored by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Apex Roofing and Contracting.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Football is a game of inches, and at Front Runners Tap House, every inch counts. Catch every big play on their massive 396-inch giant television. The ultimate game day experience is waiting for you at Front Runners Tap House inside the Community First Igloo.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, you look troubled. Is something bugging you?
This friendship isn't all upside for me, Jason.
People keep asking me stuff about you.
They ask you about me?
Is it really cooler with Bueller? They ask. So I say, totally. And they say, how do you mean that? And I say, he fixes air conditioners, which literally makes somebody cool. But he also has cool sunglasses and cool people and a cool family.
And I try to make working at Bueller Air and Plumbing a really cool experience for our technicians and plumbers. We treat our people like gold, and they treat our homeowners the exact same way.
Great. Well, now there's another cool thing I've got to remember. This is a lot of responsibility, Jason.
Life can get hectic sometimes. If you don't take a moment to slow down and appreciate all the cool parts, you could miss it.
Do people ask you about me at all?
Weirdly, they do.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
He thinks he knows what he's talking about.
Of course.
Find out if he does.
Is there anything else we need to know?
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
9 o'clock hour has arrived. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night. Coming up later on, Marty Lee, the athletic director of First Coast High School, to preview a big night of Friday Night Lights. And coming up inside of the next 10 or so minutes, we will go to Tallahassee. The play-by-play voice of the Florida State Seminoles, Jeff Culhane, on the Seminole Radio Network, will stop by as we will look at Florida State and Miami Saturday night, 7:30, over there in the state capitol at Doak Campbell Stadium. Week 5 of the National Football League already underway. San Francisco and the Rams. Of course, the 49ers coming off that loss last week to Jacksonville. No side effects so far. All 49ers, they lead 14-0 over the Rams. How about Mac Jones? Jacksonville's own. A couple of touchdown passes, including Christian McCaffrey with the score as the 49ers are up 14-0. Denmark, I think I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to ask you anyway. I mean, if San Francisco kind of dominates LA tonight, I mean, they're up 14-0 right now. If they win the game, go to 4-1, what does that say about what Jacksonville did to them last Sunday?
To me, it means that Brock Purdy should not have played. He was too banged up, and they should have won with Mac Jones. That's what it means to me.
Fair. And by the way, if Mac Jones continues to play like this for the remainder of the game, there will be an interesting conversation in San Francisco moving forward. Mac has looked very, very good.
Yeah, and I'm sure the GM and the coach will say Purdy's getting $50 million and Mac Jones is getting whatever it is, $4 or $5 million.
Yeah,
so.
but you know what's funny about that, and I hear you. Kyle Shanahan's the kind of guy where that may not matter.
No, that's right.
He's got enough coaching cred or whatever that he's going to play the best guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did that when they started Brock Purdy over Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance, but. I mean, I think we're getting a little carried away because, this is a divisional game. Granted, it's only middle of second quarter, so, there's still a lot of ball to be played. And, he's played well, but, he's played the Saints and the Cardinals, I think it was.
And won both games. But you're right. Saints and Cardinals are not very good.
That's right. But, I think at the end of the day, it's not going to be a question. Once Purdy gets right, probably going to be next week. They'll probably go with him.
If San Francisco wins tonight, gets to 4-1 on the year, there's talk already that George Kittle may be available next week. Potentially Ricky Pearsall comes back. Jawan Jennings comes back. That's pretty good by the 49ers to survive all these injuries and get to 4-1 if, again, they win tonight. But like we said, a long time to go. They lead LA 14-0, 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. All right, college football-wise, quick thoughts. Big Saturday. Give me Alabama over Vanderbilt. Not breaking any news there. Denmark, is that close? Does Vandy keep that one interesting? Remember, they beat Alabama a year ago.
Yeah, I think they keep it close in the second half.
I mean, Vandy's undefeated. Heck, College Game Day is in Tuscaloosa, for crying out loud. But give me Alabama there. Florida and Texas, you and I will have Gator Bites tomorrow morning on the 1010XL Podcast Network, on the Florida Gator 1010XL Facebook page as well. Denmark, I don't know how in good conscience you can pick the Gators based on what you've seen on their offense.
Well, you must have not been paying attention to a lot of people in the media, because I feel like every time I see someone in the media picking this game, everybody's picking Florida.
That's crazy to me. I mean, what's their logic?
I'm with you. So, I don't know. They're all buying Napier last year, and this was the time they turned it around, and Texas isn't good. Texas doesn't have their running backs doesn't look like for Saturday, Baxter and the other backup. But I mean, I don't know how this offense is going to turn around, and you got to score more than 10 points to win a game. So we'll see.
I agree. Arch Manning versus DJ Lagway, Florida versus Texas. There should be a lot more intrigue in this game, quite frankly. Unfortunately, Florida has not held up their end of the bargain. We'll see. I mean, I don't think it's the craziest notion ever to say Florida will win, but I'm not picking them to win.
Yeah, and by the way, the spread was like 6.5 for most of the week. I checked earlier. It was 4.5.
All right, so it's
money's
coming
in on Florida.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. But again, give me Texas in that one. Like we said, we'll go to Tallahassee. Jeff Colhane, the play-by-play voice of Florida State on the Seminole Radio Network, will join me coming up here in less than 10 minutes to preview Florida State and Miami. Quickly, Major League Baseball, keeping you updated. Winner or go home tonight, Yankees-Red Sox. Bottom of the fourth, they're still scoreless in the Bronx. Again, the winner advances. The loser season comes to an end. Detroit eliminated Cleveland earlier today, 6-3, and the Cubbies eliminated the Padres earlier today, 3-1. So the Cubs advance, the Tigers advance. We already knew the Dodgers advanced last night. And the final wild card series, Boston and New York. Again, we'll figure this out in a couple hours. But again, scoreless, bottom four between the Yankees and the Red Sox. It's Miami. It's Florida State. Let's go to Tallahassee. Jeff Colhane, the play-by-play voice of the Florida State Seminoles. Let's preview one of the best rivalries in college football. Another chapter will be written Saturday night. Let's talk Miami and Florida State next, right here on Hacker After Dark.
When you need plumbing, septic, or air conditioning service, trust matters. That's why more homeowners in Jacksonville choose Duck Duck Rooter, the area's most trusted service company. We're licensed, insured, and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida. From small plumbing repairs to major renovations, septic tank pump outs, drain field installations, and full air conditioning service, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Hey, Hicken here. Cooler weather right around the corner, but you can extend your swim season with Surfside Pools. This month, Surfside Pools offering 10% off new pool heaters or heater replacements and installation. Keep the good times rolling. No matter the season, upgrade your pool heating system now for months of extra enjoyment. Only from Surfside Pool, the trusted name for expert pool service. Family owned and operated. Call 246-2666 or visit surfsidepools.net.
License number CPC 044080.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors. With great ratings and expert reviews, you know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or just stop by the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Their professional design consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
Hey folks, this is Denny Thompson, and when it comes to protecting my home, I turn to Tyson, the leaders in state-of-the-art home security right here in Jacksonville. Their AI cameras and smart doorbells are top-notch, keeping an eye on what matters most. Whether you're moving in or upgrading, Tyson offers flexible packages, rent or own, with specials on the first 3 years. Ramp up now for the holidays, the perfect gift for you or someone you love. Call Tyson today at 590-7979 for details.
Did you know that basketball and volleyball were invented at the YMCA? That's right, and even today, the Y continues to lead the way in youth sports programming, from toddlers just starting out to teens ready to compete. The Y offers skill development, recreational play, and competitive leagues, all in a fun, supportive environment. Get your child in the game to build character and skills at the Y. Registration is now open for youth volleyball and soccer at fcymca.org.
Early detection saves lives. This month, join Ackerman Cancer Center to go light blue and take action with prostate screening and their expert guidance. Book your screening consult and experience the Ackerman Advantage at ackermancancercenter.com.
Hey, it's Lauren Brooks. Looking and feeling great isn't just for women. Hello Smooth Med Spa has something for everyone. Laser hair removal, wrinkle smoothing, skincare, and more. With over 400 plus 5-star reviews and over a decade in business, they know their stuff. Book now at hellosmooth.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Boy, a big Saturday here in the state of Florida. Of course, you have Texas and Florida in Gainesville on Saturday afternoon, and the big one Saturday night in the state capitol, the Miami Hurricanes, the Florida State Seminoles, a 7:30 kick at Doak Campbell Stadium. Let's talk about Florida State's 3-1 start as they welcome in the Miami Hurricanes with the voice of the Florida State Seminoles, Jeff Culhane. He's always kind enough to join me here on 1010XL. Jeff, how we doing, man?
Ryan, always good, my friend, and always great to talk to all the great people in Jacksonville and college football fans in Jacksonville as well. You hit it on the head. What a weekend for college football in the state of Florida. And, man, it doesn't get much better than Florida State and Miami, one of the elite rivalries in all the sports. Can't wait.
Yeah, there's no doubt the rivalry gets renewed Saturday night at Doak Campbell Stadium. Before we talk about that game, Jeff, the last time you and I spoke was prior to Alabama. Since that time, 3-1. Look, everything was great, and then you go to Charlottesville, and quite frankly, a lot of Seminole fans were probably taken aback at the loss to Virginia. What's been the thought process over there in Tallahassee following last Friday night?
Yeah, certainly disappointing. Give a lot of credit to Virginia. Going in, you saw the numbers. UVA's offense is one of the best in all of college football. And really a big fan of their quarterback, Chandler Morris. He's got a lot of poise. He's a veteran guy. He's at his fourth school, Ryan, in this era of college football and player movement. And so he's been around the block. And I was really impressed by him. I was impressed by Virginia's physicality. And they just seem to have one more play in their back pocket than what Florida State did in that game on Friday night. And, for Scott Stadium, not known as a place that is one of the more raucous environments, their fan base came out and did a nice job. It turned into a nice home field advantage for them. I just felt like Florida State was, and Mike Norvell mentioned this in his press conference and with me on his radio show Monday night and TV show, that I just felt hesitant for some reason. They really looked like a team, Ryan, that was playing their first true road game together. And that's kind of what it looked like. And so you take the loss and you recalibrate things a little bit. And, I'm not saying a loss is good. It's not and never is. But now I really think you have a Florida State team that's going to recalibrate here. They're going to be uber focused. And not that they didn't have or weren't going to have the full attention, getting ready for Miami in a game like this. But now there's, your backs are against the wall a little bit with what your goals are and trying to be, whether it's a college football playoff team or an ACC championship team. This is a big time game. It always is. And now you have a little more sense of urgency to a certain degree.
The play-by-play voice of the Florida State Seminoles, Jeff Culhane, with us here on 1010XL. Ironically enough, even after the loss on Friday, boy, that Alabama win looks even bigger after Alabama goes between the hedges and knocks off Georgia. So you sit 3-1, Florida State does through 4 games. And I got to tell you, Jeff, boy, Tommy Castellanos, there were a lot of questions about him coming into the year. Even in that loss on Friday night, I thought Castellanos was fantastic.
He's been great. And, he obviously is not the reason why Florida State lost that game last Friday night. He's one of the main reasons why Florida State had a chance to win, quite honestly. And he has, I tell you, he's talked the talk and he's walked the walk. And Tommy has come in here And I don't know if I've seen a player in the short amount of time endear himself to a fan base at the quarterback position like Tommy has. And you have to probably go back to Jameis Winston as a redshirt freshman, but he had a year in the program before he got his chance for his Heisman Trophy season in 2013. I know you're splitting hairs with the timeline and how much opportunity you have, but it's the kind of vibe you get. He's just got this poise and swagger about him. He made some huge plays with his arm and with his legs in the game versus Virginia. Obviously, we've seen what he's done prior to that in the win over Alabama. And, he's been the best player on the field in the 2 wins against teams you should dominate. And he did. He dominated. And so he is a problem with his legs. He's doing, good things. He's not stepping outside of himself within the offense. He and Gus Malzahn make a fantastic duo with the offense and how it fits around his skill set. And certainly this will be a huge challenge with the Miami defense coming in as one of the best in all of college football in limiting, frankly, scoring and limiting big plays. But Castellanos has stepped up big time, and he has been a whole lot of fun to watch.
There's no doubt the transfer portal has been very good to Florida State in years past. Probably last year, not so much. But they look like they're on the right side of it again, Jeff, in 2025. A couple of those transfers, particularly at the wide receiver position, have been enormous for Florida State so far this year.
Well, you start with Deuce Robinson, and how great was he on Friday night? I mean, the young man was tremendous. 9 catches, a career high, 147 yards receiving, had a receiving touchdown. He got hosed out of another with what I thought was not a great overturn of that touchdown call late in the game. That's for another show for another day. But Deuce Robinson has emerged as one of the elite wide receivers in the ACC and continuing to be a guy to talk about in that national conversation as well. Squirrel White's been banged up a little bit, but I think his best is yet to come. And then you go to the tight end spot, Ryan, Randy Pittman Jr. out of Panama City. He's the 3rd Florida State player ever to pass for a touchdown, rush for a touchdown, and catch a touchdown all in the same game. And he did that Friday night versus Virginia. So this was an offense that had essentially 11 new starters line up and face Alabama in week number 1 back on August 30th. And it's an elite group that's come together, and the numbers show it. Number 1 scoring offense, number 1 total offense, 2nd best rushing offense in all of college football, 2nd best on 3rd downs. I mean, this is a group. What a fun matchup to watch, this Florida State offense and its explosiveness against a Miami defense led by Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor and company, who are going to try and slow them down in front of a packed house at Doak Campbell Stadium.
Couple more for Jeff Colhane, the play-by-play voice of the Florida State Seminoles. All right, let's get to Saturday night. This is a Miami team, and I know the Miami fan base believes this is the best team they may have had in the last 20-plus years. You look at Florida State, great at home over the years in games like this, Saturday night, prime time, Doak Campbell Stadium. I mean, this is what college football is all about.
Well, it's such a unique series. And what I mean by that is it's a series where the road team has had more success than the home team. And I know I shouldn't be saying that as a Florida State guy, but that's one of the things that jumps off the page at you right away. For whatever reason, the road team has been able to go into the other team's place and have success. And now, what you're hoping for from a Florida State perspective, this is Miami's first road game of the season. It's their first road game together as a group playing in a hostile environment. And this place is going to be electric, Ryan. I mean, it's going to be a sold-out crowd, prime time, Doak Campbell Stadium, Bobby Bowden Field, national television for the 46th consecutive season, and expect another classic. I mean, you look at the series history between Florida State and Miami, and just some of the great games that get nicknames in college football history have come out of this rivalry. It's the 70th meeting all time. 36 games have been decided by 10 points or less. 20 by 3 points or less, and 9 by 1 point, period. I mean, it's nuts to think about how this series has come together and the types of games we have seen throughout the years. Florida State's won 3 of the last 4. Miami, got Florida State last year when the Noles were way down. This is going to be one that has got a college football playoff atmosphere to it, and it's a big one. There's no question about it. If Florida State can win this game, I think in a big way, it erases what happened on Friday night at UVA. Now you have wins over Alabama and Miami through 5 games on your resume. You're right back in the hunt, Ryan, as a team that should be in the top 10 and should be considered for the college football playoff.
Jeff, as we begin to wrap up to that point, I mean, look, you try not to get too far ahead here, but it's hard not to look ahead. If Florida State beats Miami, look, Clemson is down. Florida, don't even get me started with them. I mean, this could potentially be, and I mean, not even potentially, this is Florida State's toughest test remaining this year on paper. And if they get past it with a W, it's hard not to get a little ambitious about what this season could turn into.
You get excited, without a doubt. There's a lot of football left to be played. I mean, Pitt comes to town, and they've struggled as of late, but they're a team that can get some things going with their defense. And Pat Narduzzi likes his defensive front, physical group. But, yeah, you're right. You don't want to look ahead, but you start to dream a little bit if you're a Florida State fan. After the start, you had a little bit of a setback last Friday. But if Florida State can go out and win this game, they're right back in it, Ryan. They're right back in the mix. You're 1-1 in the ACC, and Florida State should be favored in their remaining 6 ACC games. It's always tough to go to Clemson and win, and that'll be a tough one no matter what the record is at that point in the season. So there's a lot of football left to go, and you got to stay healthy. You have to have some luck on your side. But that's the magnitude of this one game. As Mike Norvell said to us earlier this week, it's a game for the players that'll be remembered forever. How do you want to write the next chapter in the story of this rivalry series? It's going to have a huge impact on so many, and that's why you want to come to a place like Florida State, is to play in a game like this.
Miami, Florida State, Saturday night, Doak Campbell Stadium. Jeff, for the folks here in Jacksonville that are making the trip over, what can they look forward to on the Seminole Radio Network?
Yeah, it's we're excited about what we've got coming up on Saturday night. We're on the air at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Those making the drive over from Jax on I-10. I know a lot of Noles fans will be coming over. Love the city of Jacksonville. Love Duval. Make sure you download the FSU Game Day app. It's free to download. You can tune into our pregame show. Again, begins at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to have the great Lee Corso on the air at just before 6 p.m., 5:55 p.m. Eastern Time, with us on our Seminole Sports Network broadcast and our pregame show live from Langford Green in the shadows of the Unconquered statue. So we're excited about Coach Corso, the Sunshine Scooter, joining us on our pregame show coverage. Going to be a great night, and looking forward to a garnet and gold type of evening here in Tallahassee, Hack.
Jeff Colhane, the play-by-play voice of the Florida State Seminoles. Jeff, have a terrific call Saturday night. We'll be listening and appreciate you as always, my friend.
Ryan, thanks for having me as always, and we appreciate you guys. Go Noles.
The Florida Gators.
Rolling 10 on the 21, 15-10.
The Gators are ready to rumble and hungry for a side of beef.
He's in. Touchdown, Gators.
Florida, Texas kickoff at 3:30 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010 XL.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, the only cost for the books and the course fees, about $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by November 6th.
Don't ghost your carpet this fall. Hicken here. Right now, you can get your entire home zero-resified from Jacksonville's Ultimate Carpet Cleaner and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139 plus a free haul for Halloween. Get it? There's something scarier than ghosts and goblins hiding in your home. It's in your air ducts. This month, take 50% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com. Ask for the 1010 XL special. Zero Res, spelled backwards or forwards, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res. I love my propane company. They always answer when I call and give me great prices and fast service. Said no one ever.
Until now. Need propane for your home or business? Seabreeze Propane is bringing the propane as North Florida's new local propane provider. Visit SeabreezeLP.com.
Seabreeze Propane. We make propane cool, brother. Oh, yeah.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
City Rescue Mission has been providing food, clothing, and love for over 70 years to the homeless in Jacksonville. If someone you know is struggling, City Rescue Mission is here to help. Learn more about the City Rescue Mission at crmjax.org.
If you know someone with cancer and no insurance, call the U.S. Uninsured Helpline at 800-234-1317.
The Creeks Athletic Association in St. Johns County offers a variety of sports for children 5 to 18. Learn how to get your child involved at caale.org.
Builders Care is looking for volunteers, and there are so many ways you can help. Find out how at builderscare.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jax. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jax, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjax.com.
You gotta do is put a drink.
Eric Church is back and bringing his unforgettable live show to Jacksonville. Eric Church Free the Machine Tour. With special guest Ashley McBride. That's why I leave a line on me. 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena, Friday, April 10th. Get tickets Friday, October 3rd at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. His new album, Evangeline vs. the Machine, is out now. One epic night of music that you won't want to miss. Eric Church, Free the Machine Tour. Live at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena, Friday, April 10th. Get tickets Friday, October 3rd. For more, visit ericchurch.com. Produced by Messina Touring Group.
It's the fall savings event going on now at Renewal by Anderson. Upgrading your home has never been easier. Get 20% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires October 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit DFHSalesEvent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Boy, what a football weekend we have in store. Miami, Florida State, Saturday night, Florida and Texas. Of course, Monday Night Football comes to town as the Chiefs come in on Monday. It is going to be wild, and it all begins tomorrow night. Under the Friday night lights, a full night of high school football here in Northeast Florida. And on Saturday at 2 o'clock, you got the Northwest Classic between Rains and Ribault. Let's talk about all of it with Marty Lee, the athletic director at First Coast High School, longtime head coach in the area. And Coach Lee is always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, how we doing?
We're doing good, man. It is, like you said, a great weekend for football, whether you like high school, college, pros. I mean, what bigger game do we have Monday night, 3-1 going against the Chiefs? What the excitement this town is going through. And, you know, hey, how big does it get? Florida State, Miami. You know, I'm kind of a little upset with ESPN. They're not doing game day there, but still, you know, a big weekend. And, you know, Florida's not having the season they should have, but it's still the Gators versus the Longhorns. And so we'll see what happens.
No, it's a big weekend. There's no doubt about it. And Coach, before we look ahead, let's look back. You've been in association with high school football in Northeast Florida for decades. You're one of the guys to ask. Last week, Xander Edwards, the sophomore, mind you, the sophomore running back at Bowles, 522 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns in the win over Baldwin. What an absolutely historic performance from that young man.
Unbelievable. You know, we know what Derrick Henry did at Yulee. And what this young man did, which topped what Derrick Henry did at Yulee, it's almost unheard of. I mean, you know, his father was an ex-NFL player. Mark Edwards played fullback in the NFL. And this young man just had an unbelievable game. Just to think about it, there are running backs that won't get 500 yards in their career. And this guy gets it in one game, plus 8 touchdowns. You think that record would never be broken, but boy, he did it Friday night, and he is an outstanding young man. There's no doubt about it. And the score of the game. I mean, Bowles scored 73 points. We talked about it last week. We didn't think that Baldwin could play with him, but give Baldwin credit. They did put 49 on the board, but boy, Mr. Edwards, boy, he was Mr. Football last Friday night. That's for sure.
And it wasn't a situation of Bowles running it up. As you said, Baldwin almost put 50 on the board. Bowles needed all those touchdowns for Xander Edwards to win the game. And, Coach, what does it say that arguably the 2 best players in the area, certainly 2 of the best players in the area, are sophomores in Xander Edwards at Bowles and then, of course, Bryson Wright at Mandarin?
It just talks about the wealth of talent that we have in Northeast Florida. You know, normally the training that these young men are getting at a younger age, you know, how they're dedicating, how they're working their bodies, you know, the nutrition aspect. You know, we're not talking about the academics. We know they have that also. But this, you know, Northeast Florida is very talented with some athletes. You think about it, like you said, I watched a young man from Mandarin Friday night. Boy, what a talent. He is absolutely everything that they say about him. You know, I'm ranked number 1 in his class. And I guarantee after this performance, Mr. Edwards is going to be ranked pretty high himself. But, yes, a lot of good talent in Northeast Florida.
Marty Lee, the athletic director at First Coast High School, with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Coach, this Friday night, tomorrow evening, under the Friday night lights, kind of a mid-season milestone for a lot of teams, and some teams, quite frankly, will be past the mid-season mark. Big games tomorrow night, but clearly there's not a bigger game this week than Rains and Ribault, the Northwest Classic on Saturday afternoon.
Man, if you've never been to a Northwest Classic, you need to go. I mean, the atmosphere there is unbelievable. Obviously, Rains is on its way to going deep into the playoffs, hopefully. And Ribault's struggling. You know, they're 1-5. But you throw those records out. These kids have grew up with each other. A lot of people don't know that the schools are less than a mile apart from each other. Hacker, when the bell rings at one school, you hear it at the other. I mean, that's how close the schools are. And the tradition that's going to be played out on Saturday, you never know what's going to happen. You know, you throw all that out. They have events all week long. What a great football game. You know, there's no doubt, if you don't have anything to do on Saturday afternoon, you want to go see a really, really good football game and see what Northwest tradition is, go to Ribault High School. There's no doubt about it.
You know, there's a lot of talk this time of year, Coach, who is the best team in the area. And you could certainly argue Raines is. My argument, though, as we reach a little bit past the midway point of the year, I got to give it to St. Augustine. You look at their resume, and I believe they have a bye week tomorrow, but wins already over Lake City, Columbia, Nice, and Bowles. They have a tough schedule remaining as well. But I look at what St. Augustine has done, and it's hard for me not to say that they're not the best team in the area right now.
I'd have to agree with you. I mean, Raines is a very talented team, but unfortunately, Raines really hasn't played anybody. Lake Mary was a strong team, state semi-finalist last year. Finalists last year. But what St. Augustine has done, losing the players that they lost last year, and now they're back at it again. It just talks about the depth of that program. And at the midway point, there's no doubt about it that St. Augustine is the best team in town. Gateway Conference, you got to give that nod to Raines High School. It's a shame that Raines and Mandarin don't play each other. It's a shame that Raines and Ed White, you know, maybe in the future, you know, we're doing a new schedule in the next year. Maybe we could do some kind of situation where we have a tier system where you have those teams that could be in a chance to make the playoffs. And there's some schools that are rebounding and trying to rebuild. Maybe we could have some kind of flex schedule at the end of the season, because I know the fans would love to see those teams play each other.
Couple more from Marty Lee. Coach, as we talk about the postseason now, before we get there, teams in the area that you think could make a deep run, regardless of classification. I think we all are in agreement that St. Augustine could make a deep run. Certainly Raines could make a deep run. You got to like Bowles' chances to make a deep run. Are those the three, and would you add anybody else that you think could make a deep run in the state playoffs?
There's two teams that I think could make a run. One is Ed White. Ed White's classification is very favorable for them, you know, and also if Nice, you know, they're going through some situation right now with, you know, with their defensive coordinator. You know, I saw this on the news this past week. If they can get all that cleaned up, Nice is a solid program. And you can never, ever underestimate University Christian. University Christian's kind of flying under the radar, and I guarantee you David is loving it. And he has that opportunity to make a run. I saw something this past week where they predict that Raines would be in the state championship game, St. Augustine would be there, and possibly Bowles. But don't discount those other three schools. They could make a run.
Yeah, David Penland's got numerous state championship rings on his finger there at University Christian. They certainly know how to win in the month of November. Coach, speaking of the postseason, last week the first rankings for the postseason came out. It's a very scientific process. You got to crunch a lot of numbers and decimal points, but it's fun to follow. But you told me about something that I was unaware of, to be honest with you. It isn't just the FHSAA state playoffs this year. There's going to be even more teams that will get to experience postseason play.
Yes, that is correct. This year, they're going to have what's called the FIT, which is the Florida Invitational Tournament. So they're going to take the top 32 teams in each classification, and they will compete for the traditional, you know, state championship in each classification, with the championship game being at, you know, Pitbull Stadium down there in South Dade, Florida. But the next 16 teams in 1A through 3A and 4A through 7A, the next 16 highest schools, will now play in the Florida Invitational Tournament. Now, it's just like the NIT in basketball. If they don't feel like that they can compete, if they don't have the money to travel, they do not have to accept the invitation. They will also do the same thing in the rural division, but they will only take the next 12. So this gives these teams that were in very tough districts, had great seasons, but barely missed out in their region, it will give them the opportunity to participate in a tournament and with a state championship that will be held, at the Villages on December 6th. So they're going to do the FIT tournament the week before the state classification tournaments. So it's exciting news. It's the first time we've ever done it. And so it should be interesting to see how the coaches, the ADs, the communities feel about this situation. We already have the independent division, the SSAA, and now we have the FIT. Should be exciting football.
Yeah, I really like that, Coach. As we begin to wrap up, just to clarify, so it isn't 16 in 1A, 16 in 2A, 16 in 3A. It's 16 total 1A through 3A, and likewise 16 total 4A through 7A. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct.
And so you'll have to win 4 games to win that tournament, if you will. I love that.
Yeah, it'd be 4 games. So it used to be, a lot of people didn't know this, Hacker, but if you had a great season and you went 500, but you missed the playoffs, you could call another team that was 500 or above, and you could have a little bowl game. Okay, and, let's say Walmart sponsored the bowl. You could have a bowl game, a 10-10 XL bowl game. You could do that. But it would be just one game, and it had to be on a Wednesday, could not be on a Thursday or a Friday. Now you're going to have a little invitational tournament, and this is good for a lot of good young programs. Let's use a great example. Let's say that Yulee, who's having an outstanding year, Episcopal have an outstanding year, don't make their tournament. Now they would be able to qualify for the FIT, and so these kids could go ahead and continue the great seasons that they're having. So it does reward you to do that. Now, on the other hand, you may be a school that's got a lot of kids that play soccer, basketball, that wrestle, and so you may decide not to do that. And so it just depends on each individual situation with a school.
I love it. I love the concept of it. More kids getting to experience postseason football. I don't think there's anything bad about that whatsoever. Marty Lee, the athletic director at First Coast High School. Coach, thank you as always. Enjoy all the football this weekend. Again, what a weekend it should be, and we'll be back to talk about it next week. Appreciate you, my friend.
I appreciate it, man. You do a great job. And, man, this, like you said, what a great weekend. Enjoy football, and God bless everybody.
Marty Lee, the athletic director at First Coast High School, with us here on Hacker After Dark. And I love that idea. Admittedly, I did not know that had passed. But if you don't make the traditional FHSAA state playoffs, as Coach said, there will now be the Florida Invitational Tournament, where the next 16 teams in 1A through 3A and the next 16 teams in 4A through 7A will get put in their own tournament, kind of like an NIT in college basketball. I think that is a great, great thing. Well, we talked a lot about that, certainly spent a lot of time on the college game and the Jaguars in Kansas City. I mean, we were very, very busy all week, and particularly tonight here on Hacker After Dark. We have a ton of people to thank for tonight's broadcast. Again, Marty Lee, the athletic director at First Coast High School. Thank you to Jeff Colhane, the play-by-play voice of the Florida State Seminoles. He will be on the call for Florida State and Miami on the Seminole Radio Network. My buddy Soren Petro, Sports Radio 810 in Kansas City, giving us the Chiefs' perspective of this game Monday night between the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Back in hour number 1, Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated, talking Jags, Chiefs, and more. And I was inside the Jaguar locker room earlier today, had one-on-one conversations with both running back Bashel Tootin and tight end Hunter Long. And we certainly appreciate those guys for spending time with us here tonight on Hacker After Dark. Now, this is the final Hacker After Dark of the week. Tomorrow night, Hacker After Dark turns into the Friday Night Lights postgame. Dylan Denmark and myself will be here after Bishop Kenny and Tallahassee Rickards goes final, and we will have Victoria's head coaches all over Northeast Florida. Should get underway about 9:30 or so tomorrow evening for the radio version of Friday Night Lights. I also do invite you to join me on the streaming version of Friday Night Lights. I'll be with Justin Barney over there at the Channel 4 studios for Friday Night Lights on 4+ as we react to games in real time as they are going on. And that show will kick off at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening on the social media platforms of both 1010XL and Channel 4. And one more piece of business, the Gator Bites podcast tomorrow morning. Myself and Dylan Denmark on the 1010XL social media platforms and the Florida Gator 1010XL Facebook page. We'll have Gator Bites for you tomorrow morning a little after 8 o'clock a.m. So a lot to do. It's going to be a very, very busy weekend. Final predictions for me. Give me Miami over Florida State in a close one. Give me Texas over Florida. And I have gone back and forth all week on this. I think Jacksonville is going to beat Kansas City. I do. I've had that feeling all week. I think Jacksonville is going to find a way to beat Kansas City. And, man, I hope I'm right, because how good would 4-1 sound? Give me the Jaguars by a field goal over the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, again, that will just about do it. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Thursday evening with us and your entire week with us here on Hacker After Dark. As we always tell you, and we cannot possibly tell you enough how much we absolutely appreciate it. So for all of us here on HAD, have a terrific remainder of your Thursday evening, and we will talk to you again tomorrow night under the Friday Night Lights. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.
Real fans know there's more to a championship team than offense and defense.
Plus, the kicker, honestly, is like one of the most important guys on the team.
Each